Hello, we are talking about the latest film in the Conjuring movie universe. So I'm curious, of all of the films, which one is your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. Hello, Internet. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Luke Irvin. This is Take 5 Movie Reviews. Today, I am talking about The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. Now, before we get into this, I was actually invited by a friend of mine to join his channel and review this film. So please look at the link below. Go check out Tavern Talk by Initial Reaction. I think we had a great time. The intro is really fun, had a blast doing it. So please go check out that channel so you can see more takes on this film. So let's get into this. This is the latest film in the Conjuring movie universe. This is a universe I'm always intrigued by, but I never am super excited for. Some of these films have been a bit of a disappointment for me, so going into this one, I had pretty low expectations. I actually haven't seen all of the films at this point. I still have Annabelle Creation, Annabelle Comes Home, and The Curse of La Llorona to see. So I'll probably get to watching those eventually. But let's talk about The Devil Made Me Do It. So in this one, we are following another case by the Warrens. This is the big one because this is leading to a court case where the person is basically saying the devil made me do it. This is pleading not guilty by demonic possession. So we have Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga back to play the Warrens, and this time they are following one of their cases based around Arnie Johnson. So this movie was very interesting. I think with this film, I really want to talk about two things in regards with goods and bads. So let's start with the good. For me, the good in this one is the Warrens, and pretty much that's why you go to watch these films, is you want to see these main two characters, because all of this is based around their life and their all of these cases that they've worked on, but in this film you get a lot of screen time with them. For me, if you look at just the Conjuring movies, I really enjoyed the first one. I think the first one was the great setup. I think the scares were great. I think just getting this intro to the Warrens, to the actor's portrayal of the Warrens, was really great. And I just thought it was such a good setup, such a simple story, very raw. That's what I like. I did not like the second one. For me, the second one just felt a little too over the top. There's so many scenes where you kind of see where you got more money to play with things, so the effects that they did don't hold up to today. I don't think you get as strong of a connection with the Warrens. They don't get as much screen time in the second film, and just what they did, kind of like with two different demonic presence in the film, I don't know, for me it just didn't vibe. I think James Wan does a great job. I think the horror, how he sets up the horrors in the first two films are really good, but again, the second one just wasn't for me. Now, with this third film, we do not have Wan returning. We have Michael Chavez. He directed The Curse of La Llorona. I can't say much about that because I haven't seen it yet. I did watch a short film that he did called The Maiden, which I really enjoyed. And The Maiden is what Philip and I used for his channel on Initial Reactions. So if you, I'll link The Maiden below, and I'll link Philip's channel, the video that we did. So you could choose either way to approach it, but just look at the intros because that's where we drew our inspiration. But Michael did a fantastic job with The Maiden. I would love to see more of what he did there on the big screen. But I will say he did a good job with this. The shots are beautiful. The pacing's good. The length time, I think it's a little bit too long, and we'll go more into that when we get into the core of the bad about this film. But the acting was pretty strong. So let's go into the bad. So really, for me, to sum this up, the bad is that this film has a bit of an identity crisis. When you get into this, you're seeing sprinkles of things that are really interesting, but nothing really is the main focus. The main thing being that this is a case where they take Arnie, because Arnie in real life, does murder somebody. So they are going to court and they're pleading not guilty by the case of demonic possession. Really cool. I like court films. We don't really get that in this one. You just kind of get sprinkles of it, which is really interesting. And I would have loved to dive more into that to see, what is the jury discussing, things like that. You don't get this. You also get a bit of a detective film because, they're trying to figure out, who is behind all of this. So this is one of those films where, all right, well, you need to go talk to this person. So let's fly here, talk to this person, where we may get a thing, or we may be told, you need to get this thing from this other person over here. So you get a lot of that kind of traveling detective work type film, which is fine. I enjoy, but it's like, I kind of want to focus on one or the other. And then around that, you have, the horror element. And not to dive too much, if you've seen this film, you'll probably know what I mean. But there's one thing that they do for Vera's character, Lorraine Warren, that felt a little bit too Star Wars. And I won't go into those details, but if you've seen the film, you'll probably know what I mean. And all of that kind of mixed together didn't jive for me. If I had to be even more nitpicky, you get some cool stuff once the credits roll. But when you actually see some real life footage, especially with Arnie, Arnie, the real life Arnie versus the actor that portrayed him looked nothing alike. And it would have made me enjoy this film a little bit more if they could have gotten someone to look closer to his actual character. The other big thing with this is you don't get the core reason of why the person kind of controlling everything is doing what they're doing. And I've been rewatching Mindhunter on Netflix, and just watched the episode where they interview Son of Sam. So, what they do in that show, interviewing these killers and really trying to understand who they are and why they do what they do, is just so fascinating. And I thought this film would have been perfect setup for that kind of stuff, but you just don't get that. And it's also interesting because, you don't get too much of an ending here. I mean, this is almost like just a solid book instead of a chapter in a book, The other interesting thing is I was researching the Warrens, so I know that Ed Warren has passed away. You get a lot of moments where you're curious to see what they're going to do with Patrick Wilson's character as Ed Warren here, but I'm also curious, they've got so many cases left to do, so I'm wondering how many more of these films they'll do. I don't know. If they do another one, I'm sure I'll check it out. But I think for now, I'm going to go back, finish what films are actually out there, and then do a ranking of them on my Letterboxd. So to kind of wrap this up, for The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, I am going to give this film a C. I did enjoy this a little bit more than the second one, not as much as the first one, but it is a strong film. It's lengthy, but it is paced fairly well. You get some interesting nuggets in here, but as a whole, it just didn't come together for me. And if you look at the core story and kind of the big reveal at the end, it's something we've seen in films countless times. So it's okay, not great. I mean, it's not the worst of them that I've seen. I would definitely rank this probably high-ish in my list. I think The Conjuring, the first one, was my favorite. So if you haven't seen any of these, go watch that one because I think you'll enjoy it if you like horror thriller. So thank you so much. Once again, please go check out Tavern Talk by Initial Reaction. This is Philip Vance's channel. I'll link it below. We had a blast. I look forward to getting to do more reviews with him sometime in the future. Hopefully we'll get him on my podcast as well. So thank you so much. If you're new here, my name's Luke. Please be sure to subscribe, hit the like button. Looking forward to talking about more films. As I stated yesterday, I'm going to start working through Jeff Nichols' library and talking about those films. So thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next one.